Border Patrol told us that they have to drill down into the ground. This one went 50 feet into the ground to find the opening of what they say is a very sophisticated...
In June 2025, Border Patrol agents uncovered a secret subway-like tunnel beneath Arizona, hiding tons of cocaine and dozens of suspects. What's even more shocking is that its advanced design hints at something far darker and mysterious. In June 2025, US law enforcement agencies discovered something that would soon turn out to be one of the biggest narcotics busts and cross-border smuggling tunnels in the history of the United States. A quiet stretch of desert outside Yuma, Arizona, turned into the epicenter of this shocking discovery. 50 feet below ground, beneath the scorching desert sand and stone, lies a hidden passage of nearly 2,900 feet, unlike anything investigators had ever seen. A super tunnel built with the precision of a metropolitan subway line. It featured reinforced walls, electric lighting, water, a rail system for illegal cargo, and active ventilation. Everything about this tunnel passage pointed to one thing. This was not a crude smuggler's crawl space. Aerial surveillance uncovered the tunnel after drones detected unusual heat patterns near Yuma. Ground radar confirmed underground activity, which erupted into controlled chaos after the discovery was confirmed. Federal agents set off emergency protocols and sealed off the area. Roadblocks were set up within minutes, and the airspace above was restricted. Shortly after, DEA and Border Patrol agents stormed the site and uncovered more than 4 tons of cocaine and more than 60 suspects linked to Mexico's most powerful cartels. However, something else was even more shocking to the team of law enforcement agencies. It was the amount of detail that went into the design of the tunnel. Each inch spoke of nothing but precision and funding far beyond a typical cartel operation. The symmetry, stability, and machinery pointed toward a skilled team of engineers and industrial-grade equipment. The tunnel is approximately 3 feet wide and 4 feet high, which is impressive due to the loose sand in this area. It is almost certain that the cartel behind the tunnel have also infiltrated registered construction firms to build this tunnel.
This is one of the most sophisticated tunnels we've seen in the United States, just because the material used to build it and the terrain that it had to traverse through, it makes it really special.
The entry point of this tunnel was traced to a warehouse located on the US side, with a concrete floor that concealed the main hatch. This was supposedly used to get narcotics and perhaps human traffickers in and out of the United States. Mexican officials later confirmed that the tunnel's other end opened discreetly inside an abandoned storage facility across the border. This was a textbook plan that many organized crime organizations have used for decades to smuggle both drugs and humans across extensively secured borders. The team building the tunnel even ensured that its route ran directly beneath layers of reinforced ground in order to evade seismic sensors and patrol detection. This was not a one-off experiment. Someone had invested heavily in a project meant to endure. When agents finally descended into the passage, what they saw shocked them even more. The walls were smooth, the rails gleamed under dim artificial light, and the air was unnervingly cool. One could tell that work on this tunnel had taken years. Along the way, they encountered mechanical barriers clearly designed to slow down intruders and buy precious time to disappear. What was this tunnel network truly for? Drug smuggling, yes, but the scale, sophistication, and deception hinted at something far darker. A team from Homeland Security camped on the ground, sweeping the barren landscape for the smallest hint that could help them unearth the mystery surrounding the tunnel. They were also keen to know whether there were other secondary tunnels or stash houses within the area. Up until that period, no one could say for sure how deep this network ran or how many more units could be concealed below. In the past 6 months, officials found at least 3 tunnels in the Yuma region, which is more than some entire years. This shows a deliberate cartel expansion into Arizona's less guarded border zones. Authorities suspect the Sinaloa cartel to be responsible for this tunnel, since they historically constructed multiple tunnels designed for smuggling illegal cargo and trafficking humans, such as El Chapo Guzmano's escape from Altiplano prison in 2015. This tunnel ran deeper, straighter, and used more advanced materials. They were even more surprised to find that in some sections, There was wooden paneling to give the tunnel a surprisingly finished look. There was even a running water line, a clear indicator that this tunnel was designed for long-term use. Mexican cartels have an extensive history of constructing cross-border tunnels. According to a report, in the last several decades, US and Mexican forces have uncovered more than 180 tunnels stretching beneath the border, some with elevators, trapdoors hidden under concrete floors, and ventilation disguised as farm piping. Yet the report stated that none of these tunnels combined so many advanced features in one build. On the Mexican side of the border, security agencies were equally busy, sealing off roads and surrounding the suspected entry point before word of the raid could spread. Armed units took positions around the property, while forensic teams stood ready to secure any evidence that might link the tunnel to individuals known to be part of any organized crime cell. As soon as the scope of the structure was clear, officials moved to a permanent solution, filling the passageways with concrete to prevent any future use. This expensive and labor-intensive method ensures that the passageways cannot be repaired or repurposed by criminal organizations. Back on the American side, agents had managed to locate a hidden hatch that had been picked up by ground-penetrating scans. Tactical units immediately breached the hatch and confirmed their worst suspicions. Crates stacked floor to ceiling, some containing industrial packaging for bulk narcotics. The seizure would later total over 4 tons of cocaine. Needless to say, this discovery made its way to the list of one of the largest single drug hauls in Arizona's history. Meanwhile, the operation had spread to the nearby areas, where federal police on both sides of the border were already rounding up individuals suspected of being part of the cartel organization behind the tunnel. In total, 62 individuals were taken into custody, including cartel logistics coordinators, drivers, and warehouse supervisors. The operation was so coordinated that few had time to resist or even realize they were surrounded. It became clear that the structure used in building this tunnel network resembled multiple others that had been discovered in the state of California, from coded delivery schedules to hidden compartments within trucks. Yet what they discovered next changed everything. Before we uncover what investigators found next, like and subscribe so you don't miss out on any future uploads we make. As prosecutors began drawing up charges against those arrested during the bust, investigators uncovered a far more disturbing truth. It turned out that this tunnel was not just a pipeline for narcotics. Rather than that, the cartel responsible for building the tunnel was also using it to smuggle people into the United States. Evidence recovered from the site suggested that, on several occasions, groups of migrants had been guided through the same corridors that also doubled up as narcotics transportation routes. Evidence showed shoe prints, discarded clothing, and small water containers, which are all hints to human trafficking. Reports from the Mexican side of the border described scenes that were nothing but harrowing. Families and sometimes children were herded through suffocating tunnels by smugglers who treated them as cargo. The long distance often made these journeys dangerous, especially for the young ones. There were stories of smugglers abandoning people when conditions turned against them. For residents in nearby Arizona communities, this discovery further deepened their concerns and uneasiness. It pulled back the curtain on a shadow world operating just beneath their towns. To them, this discovery was more than drugs. It was about control, desperation, and the human cost of a border that, despite every barrier and patrol, remained porous in the most haunting ways imaginable. Therefore, lawmakers immediately pushed for urgent upgrades to detection technology, such as additional ground-penetrating radar, advanced drone surveillance, and more staff focused on underground monitoring. Critics asked why such a sophisticated tunnel hadn't been discovered earlier, while others noted that such tunnels are almost unavoidable given the vast resources cartels can invest. For decades, most cross-border tunnels were concentrated in the San Diego-Tijuana corridor, where geography and infrastructure favored smuggling operations. With time, this route became less feasible for the cartels as surveillance increased. Now, with this discovery, it is evident that they have shifted east towards Arizona's vast and less monitored stretches of desert. In this move, they are looking to exploit the blind spots that technology and manpower had yet to cover within this area. There is sufficient proof that cartel networks are becoming more strategic, resourceful, and patient. For ICE and other federal agencies, the message is clear. Traditional border defenses are no longer enough. The next battle against these cartels might be fought underground,